Hey guys, I'm Mike Manal from the Nerds of Color. It's great to talk to you. Thank you, Zoe. Thank you, Sean, for doing this. I'm so excited to get into it because I love the living crap out of this show. It is one of my favorites this year. These characters are wonderful. I felt for them, but I laughed with them at the same time, and the action is just awesome. So one of my favorite things really about all of James's works, especially when he does comic book adaptations, is he doesn't focus strictly on A-listers like Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. He really dives into the most interesting characters, and sometimes people haven't heard of them. So I wanted to ask both of you guys, in your experience working with James, both on Creature Commandos and then Sean, in your case, on Guardians and every other project as well. Did that really encourage you guys to look into these really obscure characters and fall in love with them even more so than some of the more main stars of the DC universe, you know?
Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, I always start with James's scripts and how he describes what's going on. You know, he's the guy who digs deep into the comic books, and I'm never like, you can go look up Weasel from the comics, and needless to say, this is a very different interpretation of the Weasel than what you'll find in the comic books. But I looked up some GI stuff. But all I can say that I respond to the same thing that you do. I love the fact that we're not that we're not like just focusing on Batman and Superman and those and the big characters. I don't know where it's really cool to go to the nooks and crannies, not just of the characters, but of the universe. So you know that this takes place in the same world. I mean, Batman and Superman live in the same world as the Creature Commandos, but they're a little off their radar, and that's a cool thing.
Absolutely. Zoe, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm coming to the DC universe as a complete noob. Uh, and I could not have been more warmly welcomed. And I think what's so cool about this show is that you can enter it from any level. You know, you can have a real scholared knowledge of the universe and have a blast meeting these newer or less known characters, but you can also just know nothing at all and become attached pretty quickly. Yeah, and it felt fitting because I am new to kind of adult animation in general too, that I get to play someone who, yeah, is less known. And like Sean was saying, like the scripts are so robust that you kind of get everything you need. So I did a little bit of research outside, but then I was like, wait, there's so much information here, and I just want to be true to that.
Absolutely. And you did such a wonderful job. I have to say, Zoe, for you, like Nina, I ended up falling out in love with her the second that I met her. She's such a great, wonderful character, and she's so different from the rest of the Creature Commandos because, you could tell that the others have a little bit of dark, kind of violence, bloodthirsty, like sort of elements to them. They're still endearing, but Nina's completely different from that. Why do you think that this character would see these guys who are completely different from her as her family, you know?
Mm. Well, I think she's, never really fit in anywhere. No one's really claimed her because she's a hybrid. She's like half human, half fish, and an aquatic being. And so I think she's always been trying to find a place to be comfortable and accepted. And it turned out to be this group of real misfits. And I think it's really beautiful, her relationship with GI Robot and also Bride, and surprising. And yeah, her superpower is pulling out their heartbeats, I think.
Absolutely. Speaking of GI Robot and his friend Nina and everything about GI Robot, Sean, you're kind of pulling double duty as you tend to do with a lot of James's projects. You are Rocket stand-in and Kraglin in the Guardian series. You're GI Robot and Weasel again here. What are the challenges of just shifting from one role to the next? And is James at least giving you 2 paychecks for your troubles here? Come on. I mean, like he's got it, right? Like
not for this one. I as you said, I'm kind of getting used to it. I think I've learned how to separate the two roles, and really kind of, it's, when I'm preparing, it's a little like doing homework, and you do your algebra homework for an hour and then you do your English homework for an hour. It's just I really kind of separate them into 2 different characters, and unfortunately most of the sessions in the booth were either one character or the other. Other than, I think, the very first time I went in, I wasn't really doing both at any time. But I'm getting used to it. I think I'm kind of like James is the manager. If you watch baseball at all, I'm like a utility infielder. He can put me in at shortstop or be the backup catcher, or to
MVP though, most valuable player.
And so we've been working together so long that he knows what I'm good at. He knows sometimes not just what it's not that the role is always harder, but it's like the way he conceives of it is so, it can be idiosyncratic, that he knows that I get him really well, and so we can talk about who these characters are, and I try to stick the landing, and it's a fun, weird thing about my career.
You do a fantastic job. If I can ask one last question of you guys, what James and Peter are really doing with the DC universe right now is really revolutionary, because the characters from the animated shows like Creature Commandos and your roles in this show, they're going to transition into live action at some point. And I'm so excited to see Nina Mazursky in live action. I'm so excited to see Weasel again in live action. I really do hope we get something from GI Robot in live action, but we'll see. I don't want to spoil anything, but have you guys started talking to James and Peter about your live action appearances as these wonderful characters?
I didn't even dare to dream that would be a thing. So, it started coming up in New York Comic Con 2 weekends ago, and I'm just still tempering my excitement. So I don't know, Sean, you can speak to it, but I can't get too excited.
Well, first of all, Mike, I share your enthusiasm for watching Zoe play Nina in live action. I'm a fan who will buy a ticket immediately to see that movie. But also, yeah, it's both my characters would be CGI characters, so it'd be fun to do it. But I mostly want to play GI again, because I'm like GI. I'm jonesing to kill some more Nazis. So hopefully I would be able to do that again.
We definitely need someone to go around killing Nazis these days. So yeah, thank you so much. I love GI, I love Nina, I love Weasel, I love these characters so much, and I love you guys so much. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for bringing these characters to life. I can't wait to see more of them, because they are just amazing, and I can't wait for people to see the rest of Creature Commandos and love them too. So thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, guys.
Maybe a nerd who's just like you, talking about the things that you like too. So I invite you to the NOC. In full color, you see me. The hard knock life, comics, movies, and TV. Yeah, pop culture with a different perspective. Watch it on your screen, hit play, so check this.